In a world where food is a trend and social media feeds are filled with the extremes, there's one group of foods that most often gets the short straw. Carbs. Hey guys, and welcome to Diets and Doodles. Today is another Theory Thursday where we will be learning a little bit more about the infamous food group, grains and cereals. Why infamous, you ask? Because this food group is generally the highest in carbohydrates, and we all know what our society thinks about carbohydrates. The food group grains and cereals consists of food made from grains such as wheat, rice, corn, rye, oats, millet, barley and buckwheat. This includes things like bread, rice, pasta, porridge, polenta, couscous, noodles and breakfast cereals. Grains and cereals generally come in two different groups, refined and whole grain. A whole grain product contains an intact grain including the bran, the germ and the endosperm. Refined cereals only contain the endosperm. Since the bran contains B vitamins and minerals and the germ contains B vitamins, vitamin E, phytochemicals and healthy fats, grains lose all these components when they are refined, leaving mostly carbohydrates and some protein. Grains and cereals also lose a lot of their fiber when they are refined. So, what happens when we have refined grains and cereals? When we have a large amount of refined grains, our diet is high in carbohydrates with very small payback in the amounts of vitamins and minerals we get. Because these grains are refined, they are low in fiber, meaning you need a large amount to feel full. The lack of fiber and the increased processing of the grain can also cause blood sugars to increase. The Western diet is high in refined carbohydrates, and reducing refined grains and cereals can help with weight loss. Whole grains, however, are nutrient-rich and have a large amount of soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber helps you feel full as it slows stomach emptying. It also helps lower the blood cholesterol and keep sugar steady. Insoluble fiber keeps our bowel movement soft, preventing constipation, and also keeps us feeling pretty full. So, Diets and Doodles, can we eat as many whole grains as we want? A lot of us fall into the trap of just assuming changing a type of food without portion control will help us lose weight. For example, instead of having a big bowl of white rice, we opt for a large bowl of brown rice instead, when in fact the amount of calories is pretty much the same, and not controlling portions will probably not make much of a difference to weight. One portion of cereals has 15 grams of carbohydrates, with 1 gram of carbohydrates having about 4 calories, which is similar to protein and half the amount as fat. So unlike the serving sizes found at the back of nutrition labels, you need to work out how much of your food has 15 grams of carbohydrate. For example, that's the equivalent of 1 slice of bread instead of 2, half a cup of pasta, or only a third cup of rice. Wait, so I can only have 1 slice of bread a day? No, of course not. Depending on your age, gender, and health, the number of options you can have per day will differ between person to person. For example, adult men or women between the ages of 19 to 50 need 6 serves a day, while women over 50 should only be having 4. Pregnant or breastfeeding women, however, should have 8 to 9 serves. You can check out the link to the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating page for more information for other age groups. However, this is just a general guide to serving sizes, and a personalized meal plan from a registered dietitian can help take into consideration other factors such as your BMR, your activity levels, and your goals. Now, let's say you are an adult between the ages of 19 to 50 years and would like to have 6 serves of carbohydrates a day. It sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But taking into consideration the portion sizes we talked about before, it probably isn't what you think. Let's look at this simple meal plan. For breakfast, 2 slices of whole grain bread with cheese. As a snack, yogurt with a 1/4 cup of granola. For lunch, 2 slices of whole grain bread with tuna. For another snack, 4 Vita-Wheat crackers with hummus. And for dinner, a salmon fillet with 1 cup of brown rice. Seems like a normal healthy meal plan, doesn't it? What if I tell you that instead of 6 serves, you're actually eating 9 serves of grains and cereals that day, with 2 coming from the bread at breakfast, 1 from the granola, 2 from lunch, 1 from the whole grain crackers, and 3 from the rice at dinner. So even though the meal plan may be full of whole grains, it can still have too many serves of whole grains for an everyday adult. So Diets and Doodles, can I just skip grains and cereals altogether and just have the other food groups? You can, but you shouldn't in the long term, and you'll be missing out on a great source of a lot of the nutrients we talked about before. as well as good sources of fiber. I will be talking about low carb and keto diets in future videos, so leave questions below if you have any. In the end, our body isn't one-dimensional, and changing serves of protein, fat and carbs around with the help of a registered dietitian can help achieve different goals for different people. However, dramatically reducing or cutting out carbs entirely can be a problem for many people, particularly children, pregnant and breastfeeding women, and people with health conditions such as diabetes due to the risk of hypoglycemia. Cutting out grains and cereals, if you are following a vegetarian and specifically vegan diet, can also lead to nutrient deficiencies, as grains and cereals help to provide the amino acids that are not always available in plant-based proteins. But we can talk a little bit more about proteins another day. Also, diets high in whole grains are also shown to reduce the risk of coronary heart disease, diverticular disease, and cancers such as colon cancers. So, in the end, are grains and cereals or carbs in general really as scary as they're made out to be? Nah. As long as you are having the right amount of serves, portion controlling, and making sure most of your sources are whole grain, they can be a very helpful and nutrient-rich part of your diet. So, don't be afraid of the carbs. For any other comments or questions, suggestions, leave a comment below, share, give this video a like and turn on that notification bell. And remember, put your health first and subscribe second. Bye!